We are going to destroy the Night King and his army. We'll do it together. Promise me.
Hey everybody, so we learned the title of the Game of Thrones finale is The Dragon and the Wolf. Very big connotations, so I believe that it refers to a couple specific things, but it also has broader implications for the narrative. So it always works really well when they're talking about two specific people like Jon and Daenerys, but it also works for a lot of the other storylines too. Like you have Winterfell in The Night King, the wolf and the undead dragon. So this is going to be a breakdown, a lot of the symbolism and meaning in this, because there have been a lot of previous episodes where you have two big houses, like the wolf and the lion or the lion and the rose. So based on the events of some of those other episodes and the way they made those titles, there are some heavy implications for stuff that's going to be happening in the finale. So if you're finding me for the first time, it is the final episode, but I will be doing videos during the off season. There'll be all kinds of book stuff and season 8 happening next year, so be sure to subscribe to get everything. But just starting on the surface level, the Dragon and the Wolf title really is just talking about Jon and Daenerys. And there's this interesting quote from way back during season 1 when George R. R. Martin was still heavily involved in the development of the TV show. So when you think of the series as a whole, A Song of Ice and Fire, that's its true name. People just call it Game of Thrones because that's what the TV show is called. It has a number of different meanings, but when you're talking about characters, it really just refers to two people. And really what it is this giant sprawling series with a bunch of awesome characters, but at its core, it's still just about the coming together of these two people in breaking the wheel, as Daenerys has said on the TV show. So George R. R. Martin, back during the first season when he was still really involved with the development of the show, was walking around, and a lot of the directors were getting into the series and learning about all these characters and saying, there's all these interesting people that are rising up. And like Ned Stark is the biggest character of season 1, so people thought that they were building the show around Sean Bean till you get to the end of the season and find out, nope, it's not about him. Martin was walking around while this was happening and responding, there's all this stuff going on, but it's really about Jon and Daenerys coming together way back during season 1. It's just that you have to get through the first couple of seasons to start caring about these characters, because Jon and Daenerys aren't that big in the first couple of seasons. Like Daenerys steps out of the fire at the end of season 1 and suddenly you're like, holy crap. But still, for the first couple of seasons, she was kind of being led around by her entourage. Ser Jorah was a much bigger character compared to her. Now he's kind of gotten pushed to the side a little bit and she's a much bigger deal. So you see how they sort of become the center of their own universes as they slowly come together as they have in season 7. There was a theory really early on that Daenerys might become one of the big villains of the series. It still fits with the motif of A Song of Ice and Fire. There's just too many steps, I think, to get to the point where she actually turns into a real villain, because the TV show is just beating us in the face with Cersei going off the deep end and becoming the actual villain of season 8. Because as we're talking about the finale, something changed during episode 6 about the War for the Dawn. And this isn't a minor thing. So previously, we have this 100,000 strong army of the dead. We have to learn how to fight them. We need all this dragon glass. We need to band together so that we have the right tools and just physically enough people to fight against them. But the big change to the rules in the last episode is that now you don't have to go around and kill every single white. You just need to kill the one that created them. So it's like killing vampires. You kill the head vampire, the other vampires that it created go away too. So that's sort of another conversation about killing the Night King and ending the War for the Dawn, because now you just need somebody to gank the Night King. Who is somebody that's capable of doing that? Just keep your eyes peeled on Arya Stark. We need another terrible Tyrion plan, but because the title of the episode is The Dragon and the Wolf, thematically it's focusing more on A Song of Ice and Fire, the bigger themes in these two specific characters. So anything else, any other storyline is sort of ancillary. It's like they have to wrap things up because it's the finale, even though they're focusing mostly on these two big ideas. Going a layer deeper, there's another big storyline that they need to bring to a head too, and that's the truth of Jon Snow's parentage. So we already learned from Gilly that Jon Snow is the legitimate son of Rhaegar and Lyanna because they got married, and so that throws a lot of the succession into question, even though Jon Snow doesn't want the Iron Throne. But because of the way the TV show reveals information, like it'll drop some clues, then it'll make something really clear. They have to pay off that Gilly bomb, so obviously the dragon and the wolf in the title probably also refers to Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. In the book, she was referred to as the she-wolf of Winterfell, which is sort of a way to describe her family heritage as well as her disposition. She was fierce and wild like a wolf. You may have heard the story about the Knight of the Laughing Tree, about how a mystery knight with a tree as its crest stood up for Howland Reed when he was being put upon by a bunch of other knights. If they pay that off on the TV show, we can talk a little more about it, but it's just another story that adds more context that shows her in a really badass light. So she is not somebody to be kidnapped by Rhaegar Targaryen. She might have even been able to fight him off, even though he was a very good fighter. People point to that moment between Jon and Daenerys where he says, "I'm not happy about the things that I'm good at, which is killing people." Barristan Selmy said the same thing about Rhaegar. He may not have been the absolute best sword in the kingdom, but he was a proven badass. So they need to pay off the idea that they were in love, ran off, and per Gilly's bomb, he set aside Elia Martell, who couldn't give him that third child, the Song of Ice and Fire, married Lyanna Stark, and then gave birth to the prince who he thought was promised. We're all kind of sitting on the edge of our chair just waiting to see something that will confirm this, how cool it's going to be. So however they cap it off, we can pick it apart. But whatever's going on in the finale, remember, it's all about the story itself is about the dragon and the wolf, the Song of Ice and Fire. So you have a lot of really interesting characters, but really the story is just about two people and two big ideas. But, on the converse, it's nice to think of the dragon and the wolf as the stuff that's happening at Winterfell and the coming of the Night King who is riding the dragon. I know a lot of people are still going on and on about the idea that Bran Stark is somehow the Night King. I do not believe that theory, and there's actually been this photo that's been circulating, so I wanted to address that in this video. The thing that you're looking at here is actually a Photoshop job. So the necklace that they're wearing that's the same, the one that Bran's wearing is the Photoshop job. There's no original photo with him wearing this, so someone took this necklace off the Night King picture and just photoshopped it onto Bran. That's not something that actually appears during the series. So I do not believe that Bran is the Night King. But what'll happen is there's been a lot of plot holes this season that have given rise to a lot of big theories, so I'll try to keep that in mind when I do my finale video, because I'm sure it'll happen again. There'll be some moment that doesn't totally make sense, and there'll be some big fan theory that'll come out of it. That's just part of the fun though, theories that don't pan out. But leave all your favorite Dragon and the Wolf finale theories in the comments below, even if you don't think that they'll come true. And sort of in that same vein, I know a lot of people have pointed to the other titles like The Lion and the Rose, which was the Purple Wedding during season 4, and say that whenever they have titles like this with two big ideas coming together, one of them ends up dying. Like The Lion versus the Rose, the lion, Joffrey, ended up dying. I don't think the metaphor totally works, like it doesn't completely hold up because Daenerys isn't going to die, Jon Snow isn't going to die, and like I said, the title mostly refers to them. But if you also think of it as referring to Rhaegar and Lyanna, I guess Rhaegar did die, so you could say in a roundabout way that one of the things in the title winds up dying, but he didn't die till the Trident, which is much later, and I'm not expecting to see any Trident stuff or Rhaegar actually dying till the final season. There is a new round of that HBO Now giveaway going on. All you have to do to enter is just be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. There'll be more mythology stuff that I'll post before the finale, so if you have special requests, just leave them in the comments below. But click here for my finale trailer video, and you can click here to learn more about the history of Rhaegar and Lyanna, the stuff that they actually did. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.